Factoring GCFs. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at this as two different sides. We have two different terms. We have this term and this term, and we're going to look to see what they have in common, and we're going to take those out. So for example, x squared breaks down to x, and 12x breaks down to 12 times x. Okay, and I'm going to ask, what do they have in common? Or if you want to think about it, we can think about it when you go on a date. You normally look for someone who has, typically the same interests as you do. So if we have x, and x wants to go on a date with someone over here, he's going to find someone who's similar to he is. Similar than him. There we go. Okay, and we find an x right there. So these x's, they go on a date. Okay, and who's left at home? This x right here didn't have a date, and this 12 right here didn't have a date, because they didn't have anyone in common to go with. So that is my factored expression right there. So we're just looking for things that they have in common. Alright, so here, 2 and x. So we have 2 times x times x. Here we have 4 times x. And even more so, the 4 can be broken down to 2 times 2. Alright, so let's look for some dates. So this 2 is going to go on a date with this 2. Here they are over here on their date. And this x is going to go with this one. So this x is over here on a date. And then notice this x and this 2 have no one to go with. So they are stuck at home inside the parentheses. And there is my factored expression, just like that. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, m to the 4th. That just breaks down m times m times m times m. And here we have 10 times m times m times m. Alright, so let's look for people that want to go on a date, or letters. So we got m and m, so they want to go, or they go on a date. This m goes on a date with this m, and this m goes on a date with this m. And who's left home? That m is left home in the parentheses, and so is that 10. And instead of writing m times m times m, we're going to rewrite that as m cubed. And there is my final answer. Alright, 6n squared minus 48n. Okay, so we're going to go with 6 times n times n, and 48 times n. Now, I know that I can break down this 48 a little bit more, and I also know that I can do 6 times 8. And if I break that down to 6 times 8, well, guess what? My 6's are going to go on a date. They're going to go out over here. Okay, and this n is going to go on a date with this n, so they come over here. And my n from here is left at home, and so is my 8. And there is my factored expression. Okay, let's do one more. So here we have 5 times n times n, and 5 times n. Alright, so we got this 5 and this 5 that are going to come over here on a date. And this n are going to come over on a date. This n is left home, and over here there's no one home. But we have to have something to take its place, so we just pretend that there's a pet at home that's a 1. Okay, if everything gets canceled out on one side, you have to put a 1 in its spot. So there is my factored expression. So go ahead and work on your assignment and let me know if you have any questions.